I'm having an affair with a guy at work. I am not going to defend myself or blame my husband. He is a hard-working, very gentle, kind man. Our sex life is not as good as it once was, but he still is very attentive and affectionate. It all started after a very long month where we were all working long hours under a lot of stress to get a very important client a proposal. I was exhausted mentally and physically. On one of the last nights I was just finishing up on my part, and the only one else in the office was this much younger, very smart and very attractive guy. One of those that all the women gawk at and make rude remarks about what they would do to him if only they were not married. All the women here were married. He came in looking like he was about to stress out, but we both were done. It was very late and I knew by the time I got home my husband would be in bed, and I so wanted to let off steam, so I suggested we hit a bar just for a couple of drinks. Bad idea, it seems. There was one place everyone hit after work, but as we pulled up I noticed it was game night, and it was crazy in there. He was riding with me and I told him I could not stand the thought of all those guys screaming at the TV watching a game. He told me about this other place just down the road. It was quiet and actually very deserted. A few other couples and of course the bar stool sitters that just drank and stared straight ahead. We sat at a table and downed a few quick ones. He was charming and very so much young. Cute and lovable, and I was starting to feel guilty about some of the things I had said to the other ladies about him, even though some of those things were going through my head now. I guess I had too much with little to eat, and as we got up to go I felt it. He took the keys and drove me back to the office where his car was. I remembered I had left things in my office and he walked me in. At some point we began to kiss. I guess I was a bit more drunk than I thought because I just do not remember starting to kiss him. The next thing I remember is him sitting on the couch in my office with me sucking on him. Then I was on top of him. He was exceptionally hard and just the right size. I had one of my best orgasms right then and there. As soon as we were done I crawled off and stood up realizing what I had done. I had just attacked this 21-year-old kid and used him. Sure, his body was perfect and he was so willing and vulnerable. I am 45, married with 2 children, one was almost his age. I just pulled up my panties and said we had to go. He looked like some young girl would look after her boss took her. I was that dirty old boss that used the young help. I drove home and after a shower to clean up and out crawled in bed with my husband. He barely moved until the next morning when I reached over and grabbed his staff and crawled onto it. I guess I was trying to relieve some guilt. It was awkward for a week after that at work until one night we were in the office alone again and there he was. I went into his office with a bottle and asked if he wanted some. A drink or 3 later and I was on top of him using his rock hard for my pleasure, and as soon as I was done I crawled off. I didn't want him to orgasm because it left a mess. He looked so disappointed, but I really didn't care. This has been going on for a year now and he and I never talk about it. We both know the score. I worked hard to get where I am and I deserve a few perks. And he needs to pay his dues.